Hey, welcome back to our final discussion on professional style, and we're going to discuss corporate America. So, corporate America is going through a shift right now. So, I will just start off with saying if you're interested in corporate America, this is a good time to do some research on what type of industry truly lights you up. And also, do you prefer a larger organization, a smaller organization, or medium sized? Um, and then from there, you can probably get a different experience than people got 20 years ago or even 10 years ago who were entering the workforce. Because of the last few years, we can't help but acknowledge that flexibility is so important, and time with our families and friends and loved ones is important, as well as building those professional relationships are equally important, because a lot of people who mean a lot to me, believe it or not, I met them at work. Most of my really close friends and trusted advisors I met at work, because we spend a lot of time together at work and we're able to see different talents and skill sets that we can learn and grow from and share with one another. And one thing I've noticed about my experience in corporate America is the more you're willing to make it less about you, the more blessings, if you will come your way. And what I mean by blessings, because you're not putting on a fake facade. So when you're genuine and when you're sincere and passionate about what you truly do and how you show up, that is like a magnet, and it pulls the opportunities to you. And I'm not saying that you have to be a front and center person or be in the spotlight at all times. You can just be an awesome developer who just wants to write code and work on projects behind the scenes. That's there too. If you're about service and customer service, there's always going to be a place for customer service. And it's so important because it's the face of most of our corporations, right? Or if you want to work on the administrative side, like human resources and matching people up to the right jobs, that's fulfilling. Um, and if you ever want to grow into management, that's fulfilling as well. One of the pieces of advice I would give someone looking to go into corporate America: start with something broad. So, like if you're interested in, like project management is a very broad job. You are learning so many different skill sets, and you can take that into management. You can take that into a technical path. You can take that into like a teacher type role, because there are organizations, especially if it's a larger organization, that is where you actually teach and train people, employees. So there's a lot you can do. Or if you're entering the workforce, customer service and being tethered to a phone is hard, but believe me, most of us have paid our dues with being tied to the phone. And I'm speaking this from experience for myself, and then as well as having a young adult that's entering the workforce, get that experience, because working in like a call center or customer service environment, it can be draining and you can experience burnout. However, the skills that you're learning can be applied after about a good year. So you're learning the technical terminology or the terminology for your industry. You're also learning all of the different applications as well as communication skills. Every job that you could ever think of in corporate America requires those skills. So from there, you continue to go for positions that you learn a little more, and you continue to build on that. And with broad careers, like starting off in customer service or project manager, you can have like two or more career paths in your lifetime in corporate America, because from there you can go into management. Management isn't for everybody because you genuinely have to care about people. I am a people leader in my organization, and it's because I love people and I love working with people. And when I hear one of my employees' goals and what they want to do next, even if that's stay on the team they're on with me, or if they want to go into management or they want to go into a whole different path, I'm their biggest cheerleader. And I'm the person that is advocating for them to make sure they get that exposure and experience so they can qualify for those roles. That's my leadership style. And micromanaging, I'm not a micromanager. I'm available to my team if they need me. But at the same token, they're adults and I treat them as such. And I think after the past few years, I was always a flexible people leader, but I'm even more flexible now. We've been through something where we've reflected about so many different things in life, from relationships to what we really want to do. It's been a heavy 2 years. So, my thought process for me is a lot of companies are shifting to a more flexible way of working. And so, again, this is the perfect time to enter corporate America if that's what you're looking for. My son entered corporate America last year, and he's been amazed by the flexibility, the bonuses, and just everything. But it's because of the time that he started working, the different sign on bonuses and the flexibility, and I'm like, wow, you have it made. I wish I would have had that, 25 years ago when I came into the workforce or what have you. So it really is a good time to give corporate America a chance and not listen to the horror stories. And like with everything, there are times where you just know that chapter of your life is over. You take what you've learned from a company and you can say let that be a positive chapter that closes and take those skills somewhere else to a different organization or to work for yourself if that's your end goal. But there's a lot you can gain from that and learning how to talk with people and networking. Whether you're an entrepreneur or you work in corporate America or a trade industry or the trade sector, those are all skills that you need. And those are all you need to know how to collaborate and have a network for when you're looking for a job, or if you know someone looking for a job or someone who's hiring. So that's the beauty of corporate America. It kind of forces you to work on those interpersonal skills. And the way it works now, from what I've seen, and I hope I'm not blind, but people are able to work how they choose to. A lot of the antiquated processes are just no longer present in our work world. It's impossible. A company would not be able to hire and retain employees if those antiquated processes were still in place. So everyone had to adapt in every way possible, business, personal, especially, in 2020. It gave us like a fresh start. And it's scary, but we are rebuilding, and we are rebuilding with passion front and center. So that's what I love about corporate America. It has been rewarding for me. And I've made some really good friends. I never start a job thinking I'm going to make friends. But what I'll say is when you're not putting on a facade of, you know, being a people pleaser. I'm not a people pleaser. I'm pleasant, but I'm sincere and genuine. I don't put on a facade that isn't me. I'm authentic, and I'm not friends with everybody, but for those friendships that I have cultivated, they've stood the test of time. Even the 10 years I've been with the company I'm with now, I've got most of my friends are and friends that I've had 20 years. We met at work because we have that in common, and it ties back to like-minded individuals tend to connect and build friendships and relationships. So with that, I met my husband at work. So it's just like work is just a place where you can. Now, I'm not saying that you should go and seek out those things if it's natural and it comes to you and it grows authentically, then that's how it's worked for me. But I never start a job thinking that I'm going to meet my new best friend. And I never join a job and say, oh, well, I want to be in with the in crowd. No, I join a new role and, I'm all about the role. And, because I'm authentic, the people who are meant to gravitate towards me and vice versa, we tend to find each other and it's beautiful. And then once you're like, wow, we've been cool for, how many ever years, this is a blessing, you're able to have that reward from work too. And it's nothing like a happy hour. when it's stressful and you have those wild weeks. And that's what I miss pre-pandemic the most, is going to dinner with my girlfriends from the office and, just catching up and laughing and talking. So corporate America can offer some beautiful stories in life, some beautiful relationships and friendships and mentorships that you would have never thought you would have found. I found them in corporate America, and they've really nurtured my soul and made me happy. So, all that to say, corporate America, now's a good time to test drive it if you're thinking about it. And then test drive all of the sectors we've talked about. And in closing, I'll just say, whatever it is that you choose to do, give it 100%, because that's exactly what you get back. Now, if you're in a position where whatever you're doing, as an entrepreneur, as whatever, when you're giving 100% and you're not getting the proper return on investment, let it go and move on to something else, because you can spend years in a dead situation and it leaves you bitter. I mean, I've been there earlier in my career, and that's where I say sometimes it's time to move on and take those skills somewhere else versus stay somewhere and become a toxic employee and miserable to everyone. Go somewhere where you can share your talent and your gift with someone who will really appreciate it. And believe me, there's a lot of people in corporate America who appreciate and reward good talent. And so, with that said, I hope you've enjoyed this series. The next few weeks, we're just going to keep it light because spring is in the Northern Hemisphere, I believe on Monday, the 21st. And then of course, in the Southern Hemisphere, they're my favorite season, fall and winter. But we'll focus on the longer days and warmer days here in the Northern Hemisphere. So I'll see you in the next video. I've really enjoyed these discussions, and I'm hopeful that one of our topics helps someone take a career change or apply for something that they maybe wouldn't have, but just needed some words of encouragement, because that's what it's all about. Having the right support system, no matter what your title is, your role, your whatever, what industry sector, it doesn't matter. We all need a support system. And so that's what this channel's for, in addition to talking about style, which again, that's a part of style too. So be safe, and I will see you soon for our next spring video. Be safe.